Right, well, good afternoon everybody, once again, welcome back to the plot. I know it's been quite a while, but unfortunately in these challenging times, and I must say they are challenging, I just cannot remember a year like what we're experiencing at this time and moment. I've had a touch of cold over the last week, but nothing too serious. I want to get shot at that. And of course, with the coronavirus sweeping through the country, I've had to be very careful, especially for my missus. She's one of the few underlying health problems, so I've got to be very careful with her. So really, I've spent the last fortnight getting all our problems ironed out and sorted out. Me and Roger have divided our times up between the allotments, so we're not meeting up. He's going up in the morning, I'll go up in the afternoon. But as I say, I've got to be very careful for the missus. I've stopped going to most of the shopping. The daughter brings the shopping in, the son brings the fruit and veg in from the shops from Shields, which we're over the moon with. But apart from that, we've just got to be really, really careful. It's a really challenging times. I've never known a year like it. Over the last, those of you that knows, over the last 2 years, I've struggled with a broken leg and damaged ankle, knee replacement. I thought that was bad enough, but this year it really has thrown the span in the works. I thought I was really starting to make an impact on the garden. We had started putting the new foundations for the greenhouse that we got given a couple of weeks ago, but of course all that's out the window now. It's all on hold, because as I say, I'm not going up with Roger. We're doing separate days, so the jobs that we like to do together, we're just going to have to put them on hold. There's a lot more people, a lot worse off than what we are, so we're just taking our time. We're doing little bits and pieces. I've been keeping a check on the internet and of course on my Facebook page. Lots of postings, different people, how they're getting over their crops and that. My heart goes out to all you showmen, and of course the last 5-6 month works is more or less just wasted. Especially those that's had their leeks and onions in from September, October onwards. Whether or not you're going to get a show, it's all up in the air. You've just got to take it day by day, really, and just be thankful you're healthy at the moment. As I say, I'm still posting online on my Facebook page. I do little bits and pieces, but apart from the film, I've had to put that off for a week. Today, it's been the first chance I'm really getting down with more. Let's get my house sorted out the way we want it, and the way we're going to have to live for the next, I don't know, 10 weeks. So I thought, well, I'll pop down and I'll make a little video, and I'll show you what we're doing on the plot. A lot of my work's concentrating down here. This morning, what I've been doing, I'll show you this trayful. Of course, I started, if you remember, 3 weeks ago, I put the cabbage in. Now, these are absolutely spot on. This is just how I like them. And this is a filterkraut. This is the big German cabbage. They make their coleslaws and stuff like that with it. But what I like to do with mine, hot pine pot. And then if you have got a cabbage, if you have been growing cabbages or any of the BRASSICA family, and you find they're getting a little bit leggy, simple job there to rectify that. All you need to do is as the cabbages here, once you pull them, once you get them out the compost. Now these are just broadcast sown, and that's why I'm never in a hurry. As I showed you the tomatoes last week when I was potting tomatoes up, never in a hurry to start potting up. These have been in a cold greenhouse, up on the plot, no heat whatsoever, but they've been on the top shelf, and they get plenty of light, so we never let them get leggy. And it's just a simple job of sinking them right down to just below the first set of leaves, and that way they'll combat their legginess. Now I only put a half a packet of seed in this filterkraut. I think there's about 450 in the packet. And as you can see, the tray is more or less full there now. So what I've done, I've put a wee drop of water on them. Now these ones, they're just little multi-packs. I always make up a couple of them for family and friends, and mine go in the hot pine pots. Reason being, I'll explain later on, is if you've been watching my videos over the last year or so, these will not be planted out till at least the first week in May. So at the back end of March now, and of course tonight the clocks go forward, so we'll get an extra hours of lightness. These will be in for another 4 or 5 weeks just in that pot. And what I like to do with mine, I like to have that pot really full of roots. I'll explain as we go on. Farther on down the line, I like to have a full pot of root, and that way the plant is nice and strong. It's got its own individual root. And when you plant it out, as I say, there was a lot of comments early on through the year about the sprouts not getting crops off sprouts. Well, if you follow this way, you shouldn't fail. Cabbage, sprout, collie, all the same. Put them off individual, let them grow on a nice good solid root system before you plant them out. Excuse me, and always make sure they're nice and hardy I should say, because if you try planting these out too early, you'll end up losing them. Now, these will go to the garden tonight on the barrow. That's another tray full done there. There we are. 10 minutes. And that's them potted up already. So they'll go up the garden. Nice cool greenhouse, top shelf, and they'll grow away nice and strong. The pots, they'll grow up the garden. As I say, they'll go in the cold greenhouse, and they'll just sit there for the next 5 weeks. After a couple of weeks' time, once they get established in their pots, they'll be shifted down to the bottom polytunnel, which you know has got nets on the side, nice and cool, nets on the doors, always open, and they'll just grow away there nice and strongly, and hopefully be ready for around about the first week in May. Now, on the last video, I was potting tomatoes off. There's been some fantastic tomatoes on the Facebook page. Dave Shaw was showing some of his. Absolutely brilliant, Dave. Well ahead, but as I say, I just started potting my tomatoes off last week, and there's a couple of me hillbillies, and they're just at the perfect size for me. I'm over them. I don't want them any bigger, because the way the weather's changing in now, as I say, we're just come to the end of March here. It's going to be absolutely Baltic next week. Freezing cold wind. We could have some sleet, snow. So these little babies are just sitting here nice and quiet. If you've got these big tomatoes, then you're going to have to heat the greenhouse for them. Not with me. I've got a little heat mat there, and that's all. It's keeping it frost free in here, and they're growing away lovely and strong. I don't want these until the second week in May, so I'm 6 weeks away yet, and by 6 weeks time they're going to be absolutely stonking plants. Always say, a good tomato, if you look at your seedling leaves on, they're being grown correctly. If you get a check on these, that's the worst thing you can do. A cold temperature, give them a check, they'll turn them blue. Giving them a check, it's even worse. It stops them growing, and that can have a big effect on how they'll grow later on in life. Once you give them a check, they could just stunt their growth, and undo all the good work that you've done to get them to a decent size like that. As I say, I'm not wanting these till around about middle of May. Up here in the northeast, cold greenhouse, cold polytunnel, middle of May is fine for me. So I'm still 6 weeks away. Take them out. Perfect. The roots are just at the bottom there, so they'll sit in there for another week. Other than that, getting no special treatment. That's my own pot mix, so there's plenty of feed in there. They're nice and coloured, nice and green. It doesn't look like they're getting any shortages of food out of that compost. What we'll be doing next is, if I can find them, I've always got to struggle for things that are brought down for the shoe up, and there we are, 9 centimetre. Here's a 9 centimetre. So they'll go from there. They'll go from there into the 9 centimetre, and they'll sit in there for the next 4 weeks. After next week, 3 to 4 weeks in there, and they'll be fine. Once again, it'll be my compost that I've made up, my own make. Plenty of sand, plenty of sharp sand in with the mix, so it's really free draining. And of course, another good point is the water from down below. Now I'll use a lot of my trays don't have holes in, like these ones here. There's a different size, 6 centimetre pots I like to use. Well, these trayfuls here, no holes in. The tomatoes will sit in them. It'll take about 6 or 8 of a tray. The tomatoes will sit in them, water the trays on the bottom. Never on top, because tomatoes can be susceptible to root rot, to neck rot, and of course too much moisture on it and cold temperatures, it's a disaster waiting to happen. You're going to start losing your plants, so just be careful with that. As I say, I just started potting some of these tomatoes up last week, and already they're spot on. There's a little bit of moisture just dropped out there, because as I say, in the bottom of the tray there's water in there, and it just keeps them nice and moist. Now these are the chocker, the Russian yellow, absolutely fantastic. I got these given last year, and I saved the seed, and they're coming away lovely and slowly, nice and healthy, and I'm over the moon. In 6 weeks time they'll be monsters. I'm in no hurry whatsoever to get large tomatoes at this time of the year, because as I say, the temperatures can just, at the flick of a flipping switch, they can change, and they're going to do next week. We're going to get the wind from the north, it's going to be freezing, so I've got my covers on here. What I like to do is I like to take these big covers off when I'm coming through the day. Fortunately today it's 69 in here, and that's with the door open. I've got the door open a couple of inches, letting the air through. I've just had to take my jacket off because I was a little bit chilled when I come through the garden there. But the heating here is marvellous. I'm over the moon with it. Everything's growing away really well. Potting off, I'm trying to do as much as I can of an evening without leaving the wife too long upstairs by herself. Once again, another pot of chilies, and they're the yellow bonnet ones. I've put a load of the Toro Rosso. They were just potted up last week, and already they're standing up nice and strong. I don't want them any bigger than that. There's some fantastic plants, as I see on the internet, nice big ones. But if you get a timing right, if you haven't got any heat in the greenhouse, and you don't want big plants, because if you put big plants out in the greenhouse and you haven't got any heating on, they're going to feel the effects of them cold winds that's going to turn around next week. So just be careful. If you've got plastic covers, you can throw your seedlings, put them over by all means. Maybe okay through the day, but at night time temperatures are going to drop right down, so you'll end up might even get a touch of frost. So just be careful. I'm going to be very careful here. I'm going to watch the temperature every night. Now, one of the main things of getting most of these tomatoes, and these, as I say, not so much the cabbages, I've just been bringing these down from the plot, putting them on here through the day, keeping an eye on the missus, and I say in the evening, taking them up on the trolley, watering them down and leaving them up there. But what I want to do, I want to get a little bit of space here. This is my big propagator, my big plastic dome, that's that one. It's on the heat blanket, which I started all the chilies off. And even them ones, they're the giant orange tomato. And they were only planted a week ago, I think. They're already way through. But they'll stop in there for at least another fortnight yet, getting a nice big strong plant, nice big root on them, before I even attempt to pot them up. Never in a hurry to put up anything, just take your time. So what I want to do is get these out of here, because this week, actually this afternoon I'm going to do a couple of sowings, because beginning of April is always me cucumbers start. And of course I've got my cucumbers, I've got my courgette, I've got my crystal apple, and I've got the baby bush melon. So I'll be sowing all them this afternoon, so we'll get cracking on them. I've got some mix already made up, some multi-purpose compost, just multi-purpose. Once again, with cucumbers, with any of the cucumbers family, with cucumbers, you've just got to be very careful of the watering. And that's why I always like to start off with a good tray, good solid tray, no holes in the bottom. And I can start sowing in small pots, small individual pots. Some of them will go into them, and I can put 1 or 2 seed per pot, or I can use my small green trays, which is my little quarter trays. I usually use quite a bit, depending on how many seed I've got. If you get a pack of cucumber seed, if you're lucky you get 5 in. So 5 seed in there will be fine. And as I say, they'll sit in the propagator now on the heat bed. Never in a hurry to start sowing the cucurbits. As I say, end of March, beginning of April is fine for me to get it first sown. Courgettes, anything like that, melons, cucumbers are all in the same family, so just be very careful with them. Get a mix up, multi-purposed. I'll give it a good soaking first, and then we'll get started sowing a few of them. Once I get them sown, well, I'll cover this place up. We'll put the cabbages and whatnot onto the barrow, and we'll get myself away up the plot. There's a lot of things I want to do up there this afternoon. I've got to check on the watering. My leeks, the show leeks are going to come out the melon house now. We've got a little bit of paraffin heat in. I don't need them. All they'll be used for now is stock plants. So they'll come out. I'll pot them up. I'll give them another potting on. Far too early for be thinking about putting them in the garden. So what I'm going to do with the stock leeks, the show leeks, I'm going to pot them up, put them outside, and just leave them in the cold polytunnel. Reason being, it frees up that little bit of heated room in the melon house, so I can start taking tomatoes up from here, chilies, peppers, especially them, because I need that little bit of frost protection at this time of the year. Normally, by the time you get in the middle of May, the middle of April, you're fine. You know, if you're under cover, you're normally frost free. But it's still early yet, like as I say, we're still at the end of March, so I'm not going to take any chances. So what I'll do is when I'm up there, I'll take the leeks out, take the onions out. They can just take a chance up on the benches then. And then it'll free up a little bit more room. I've got the melon house full of all the seedlings that I potted off last week. Begonias, the dahlias have got to be potted up. I've got a few cuttings up there on the stools on the dahlia tubers, and I'll show you them when we get up there. Little pot tubers that I was taking for last year. If you're stuck for room, I'll show you how to take a pot tuber, and it creates a little bit more room in your greenhouse for next year. But as I say, I've got the busy lizards up there, I've got lobelia up there, I've got petunias up there, I've got all sorts. They've all been slowly over the last week. I've been coming down for an hour every day, putting them up and taking them up there. But I'll show you all them once we get up there. As I say, they're in that little bit of frost-free greenhouse. It'll just keep the temperatures above freezing for the next couple of days. And once we get into April, I can slowly just reduce that temperature, because I don't like them having too much temperature. As I say, these will just sit straight in the greenhouse up on the top shelf, and they can just take a chance. But they'll be nice and hardy. I've got the sprouts to sort out, the Maximus. I'll bring them down, I'll get them potted off, and I've got a few collies to pot off. And then hopefully by the weekend I might be able to get started planting outside. I've got carrots to plant out. I've got the parsnips still to put in. I normally like to sow my parsnips on about the beginning of March, but the way the weather's been the last few weeks, it's been really windy. So every time I've went up the plot, it's been blowing a gale, so I didn't want to start trying to scatter seed in that wind. And of course, with this lot kicking off now with coronavirus and everything else, it's challenging times. But really, my message is to all of you, just stay safe. You know, it's not worth putting yourself at risk, rushing round on the plot, getting up there. It's not essential. As long as your plants are getting watered and you're getting down, you're staying safe. What I have done up the garden, I've put a line on my gate. Normally my gate's wide open, and everybody's welcome. Come in, people come in and out all the time, chatting, discussing, having a look at this, having a look at that. But unfortunately, I've put a chain on the gate now, and that gate, once I get in there, that gate's pulled shut and it stays shut. Anybody that comes to the gate, I can talk from my path to the gate with them without having to open the gate. And it's sad times, you know, because we're all gardeners and we all like to show what will grow and how to grow, and we all like to show our experiences. But just over these next couple of weeks, if we just bear with us, just take it a bit at a time, and just be mindful of other people, not just yourself. Just be mindful of other people. If they catch a virus, and then they can pass it on to others. But that's what we'll be careful for. Okay, so I'm going to just knock off for the time being, and I'm going to sort this compost out, and then we'll get we'll get started on some cucumbers. Okay. Right, well, welcome back again. Once again, we're up and running. I've managed to get some of the compost made up, ready for cucumbers. Now, as I say, this time of the year can be pretty challenging, can be pretty cold. So what I like to do with mine is I've getting the propagator sorted out. I've just got a big flat open propagator that's sitting on top of my heat mat, which is going to give us all the temperature I need to start these off. I will be starting some off cold, but they'll not be started cold until the middle of April. These are just the early ones. Now with the cucumbers, I grew these last year. I was well chuffed with them, and I grew the cucumber Carmen. They weren't a big cucumber, but they were nice. They're nice and meaty. And of course, with any cucumber, you don't get too many in a packet. I think you get about 4 or 5 of these if you're lucky. Yeah. 4. Right, so where we'll go. First thing I like to do with the compost, always pre-soak your compost. And it gives it a good chance to drain off. And of course, in my compost, in my spray, I've got the old chamomile tea. I'll give it a good soak, pre-soak it with a chamomile tea. And then once it break cover, once it pop through, same as anything tomatoes, peppers, chilies, I'll give them another good spray of chamomile tea, and it just gives them added protection. Put that on the top there. It's just sewn just a 1/4 inch below the top. Now with any cucumbers, you'll get quite a decent sized seed, so you can get a hold of it by your fingers, or you should be able to. If I can do it, you should be able to. Always sow your cucumber seed or your melons, anything, on the side. Never on the flat. If they're on the flat, you've got a good chance of moisture lying on top of the seed, cold, damp conditions, and they'll just rot off. If they're on the side, better chance the moisture will just go past them, and it's just a case of sticking them in the compost. Now I've just got my little 1/4 tray here, and I can quite easily sow 4 seed in that 1/4 tray, and there we have it. Easy as pie. That's my cucumber Carmen. Once again, just a little bit of the compost on the top. And I always like to emphasise that when you're making your compost up, don't forget to add your extra sharp sand. You can never put too much sharp sand in when you're dealing with these guys. Cucumbers, melons, squashes, anything like that. You know, a really free draining mix is absolutely spot on for these, and they love it. But as I say, the trouble with these, they've got a tendency to catch a neck rot. If they catch a neck rot, then that's it. It's show's over for these plants. It's just what it is too much moisture on the top of the pot, too cold conditions, and they just collapse. So what I like to do is to put them in a tray or a pot, and stand your pots in a tray and water from down below. If you've got a good sandy mixture, they'll take the water that they need themselves, and they'll be fine. Now with these ones, with the courgettes, I grew a couple of these last year, and I was over the moon with these. If I can find the packet, should be around somewhere. And of course, these are the courgette shooting star. If you're short of space, use them, because they like to climb. I don't know how many of them we'll get, but I'm surmising I'll probably get about 10. Oh yeah, there's quite a few in there in that packet. The one in there, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. I'm getting 12 seed in there, so I'm over that. I'm only going to sow a couple this afternoon just for the sake of filming. Once again, you can see by the seed they're massive. They're great for handling. I do it exactly the same as what I do with cucumber. Get it on the side, just hold it by the side. Just gently press it into your wet compost, soaking compost. Quite an easy job to do, and that's them 2 done. Now I'll probably sow another 4. I'll probably sow another 4 of these. So them 6 will fill, and I think I've got one here. Yep, I've got a tray here. Them 6 will fill that tray up, and I can just tip water into there whenever I need to. They'll go into the propagator in the heat bed, but by watering into the tray, the water will not get out onto the heat mat. So once again, it's safety and all. I will point that out whenever you're using heat mats in the greenhouse. Just make sure you're watering. Make sure you've got trays that don't leak. You get water onto electrics and it's game over. So just be very careful of that. So there's me courgette shooting star. 2 there, and I'll do another couple before I go up the plot. The cucumbers, and I've got I sent quite a few of these out to different people who asked for them off last year. Of course, these are my own seed. These are the baby bush melon. Now I'm only going to sow a couple of these because I want to save some. I want to sow some of these in the middle of April. It's another fortnight away yet, because I'll be using them once again for the 3 Sisters Challenge. I'll grow my sweet corn. There was plenty of time for the sweet corn. Reason being, my main potatoes, my early potatoes in the tunnel, they're growing champion. Roger's just banked them up yesterday, but I'll show you when we get up there this afternoon. Roger's just banked them up there and they're growing away smashing. Now, they're not going to come out until the end of May. It's usually the bank holiday Monday when we dig them, the tunnel tatties out. So we've got April and we've got May. We've got 8 weeks yet. Now, there's no way I'm going to start sowing corn ready to go in them tunnels now, because 8 weeks they're going to be giants. I'll let you give them 5 weeks, at the most 6 weeks. So once again, get your timing right. When you want your plants, when you know when you want them, you can work back and you know your planting dates. So if I get my baby bush melon in the 2nd week in April, I'll have nice strong plants. I'll plant in amongst the corn. And then once again, beans, I'm going to use the bean hunter to climb up the sweet corn. So we've got 3 crops in one. So the baby bush, I'll be sowing the main crop of them in the 2nd week in April. I'll put a couple in now just for earlies, I've already tried them in December, just to see what they were like, because they're all my own safe seed, and that's the only time I do chit. I never chit any other time. If I'm buying stuff from the general seed merchants, I never bother. Excuse me. I think our seed merchants are fantastic. So it's only when I save my own seed I like to try and to see if they're going to grow properly and see if there's they're okay for getting a new crop out of the following year. And as I say, I'll check them in January. Just a little box, bit of tissue paper, put them on top of the heater, and if they sprout, well, that's it. They're fertile, so they're fine. So I'll sow a couple of them a day, and then the rest of them will go in the middle of April. As I say, my sweet corn will go in the middle of April, and hopefully by the end of May I'll have nice strong plants ready for planting out where the tatties are going to come out. All about timing, once again. Get your timing right, you shouldn't have any problems. So that's it for the time being. As I say, that this place is filling up quickly again. I've just emptied it out, and already it's starting to fill up the empty spaces again. Once these cabbages are out today, I'll bring the sprouts down, do exactly the same with that, get the sprouts up tomorrow, and then I've got a few more little bits and pieces of seedlings over here, dianthus, I've got some more lobelia, I've got some celery over there, some antirrhinums, and more seed to pot off, and then the rest of the stuff's up the garden. All the main crop, marigolds and stuff like that, dahlias, that's all up there. But I think I'm well ahead. It's just that we're going to be a bit restricted in what we can do over the next couple of weeks. But we've just got to take our time, as I say. Just be mindful of other people, not just yourself, you know what I mean? It's keep yourself to yourself, and hopefully in a couple of months time we should come through all this without too much trouble. For the time being I'm going to finish off doing this little bit of sewing down here, and then I'm going to pop up the plot and we'll get this video finished up, and hopefully I'll get it online tonight. Okay, see you all again soon. Oh, honest to God, from lunchtime today until now, I didn't think it could get so bad. It's absolutely baltic out there now. Northerly winds coming down, so I think I've timed it just nice. I'll have my tray of filter kraut, and I put it off this morning there, down there on the road. I'm just going to do a little bit shifting around so I can get the big tray in. Once again, trays with plants in, then I can water from down below. A few sealing trays there. I've got a tray of all the hollyhocks that I did yesterday. They're now done. And this is just a cold greenhouses, no heat whatsoever in here. The Spanish bush tomatoes that I planted a fortnight ago, completely cold, and there they are coming through there now. Well, they'll be ready for pricking off around about the second week in April, which will be fine for me, because these are just going to go in this top greenhouse here when the potatoes come out. There's early potatoes in there. They haven't come up as good as what the Jazzy have. I'll show you when we go through the polytunnel. The Jazzy have just run away, and these are the Winston in here. Early potatoes just the same, but they're just starting to poke through, whereas the Jazzy are a good fortnight ahead of them ones, easy. But I'll know better next year. Just put the Jazzy in. I've not tried Winston for a while yet, but they had some good reports last year, so I thought I'll get a pack and try them. But we'll see what they're like for taste anyway. Right, I'll just get the last tray full of them in. That's the big tray full of kraut that I did this morning. Get them up on here, right up on the top shelf. As I say, there's no heat whatsoever in here. The only thing extra is a little bit of plastic cladding, that's all. Just to keep on it frost. All them will get now is a little bit of water, sprinkle over them, and they'll be fine. Nice fresh water, as I was saying. You can see by the tank fridge I just filled it again this morning. So we'll just give them a little sprinkling of water just to keep them going. They'll be fine. They'll stop there now for a good fortnight till I get ourselves, once we get ourselves well rooted, and then what we'll do, we'll shift them down into the bottom polytunnel where it's nice and cool. One more tray. Greyhound. Now I'll do exactly the same with these as what I did with the filter kraut. I'll take these down home and I'll put off a full tray in cups and a couple of small trays of sixes just for family and friends. But they're perfect, just at the right size there now. That's the way I like them. And these have been brought up just cold greenhouse, no extra heat whatsoever, and they were sown 3-4 weeks ago, and absolutely perfect. Nice and wet in the bottom because they're on trays, they're on newspaper, and all I do is I pour water into the trays, the newspaper gets nice and soft, and they can just take the own water. You can see the roots coming through there, absolutely spot on. Well, I'll take that tray full down home, and I'll finish them off down there. And of course, what I have got is a tray of Maximus, and these are the F1 sprouts. It doesn't look as many as what there are on the cabbages because you'll only get 40 seed from these. Yeah, from these ones. 40 or 50 seed at the most. Now to me that's about 30-35. About 90-95% germination. There's a couple of small ones coming up in between. I'm not bothered about that. Out of their ones, if I can get 2 dozen first class there sprouts to pot off into cups just for myself, I'll be quite pleased. And as I say, I grow them every year. The closest you'll get to Pear Gynt, I grew Pear Gynt for years and years, and I always thought they were a first class sprout. Not an early one, we don't like early sprouts. We like ours at the back end of the year, going into January, February, and even into March. As I say, we'll still be picking a few off here over the last couple of weeks. But Maximus, it takes some beating, and of course I've grown year in, year out, so I'm well chuffed with that. I'll also take that down home, I'll get that potted up. It just means it's too cold tonight to do, and the wind's really picked up. It's too cold tonight really to do anything, so I'm just going to give us a quick look in the tunnel, see what we've been up to, and then I'll get myself way back down home and maybe do a little bit more potting off down there. Okay, so we're popping the tunnels. Right, well, here we are in the first tunnel, and as you can see, it's well chocker, and a lot of leeks in here, a lot of seedling leeks here. I'm going to keep them ones because they're a good strain, them, and I'm going to just grow them on for stock plants. That's these ones over here. What I'm intending to do is get some of these potted up into a decent sized pot, and these will just sit outside here on the benches. As you can see, I'm getting a little bit pushed for space now. Peppers, tomatoes, chilies, everything up along the top shelf there, and of course we all the best lighters. More leeks along there. I've got the grapevines along there, they're belting away, they've got nice big fat buds on them. And of course we've been getting a lot of our bedding plants potted up. Busy lizzies there, geraniums there. Yes, everything's growing away fine. Chilies, this is the first lot I've potted up. They're growing away really well, and of course all that's in here is just a little paraffin heater, and it's just keeping the frost free, that's all. But you can see the grapevines on the back here, the buds nicely busting out there, well chuffed with them. And what I did want to show you along here, if I can just settle that down, if you remember on, at the beginning of the year when I showed you these, and of course that's the pot tubers of the dahlias. Now I can strip that down, I can take 3-4 cuttings off there, quite easy. I'll probably do that next week. And that's another one, just out of a small pot. All it was just cuttings taken last year, and we'll let them root away in the pot and left them in there, and we've got a first class little pot tuber. So really you don't have to take them out of the pots, you don't have to dry them off, you can just leave them in the pots over the winter in them small pots, and you get a first class little tuber to set away in the heat in the springtime. But I'll show you all that in a couple of videos further on. Got quite a few chrysanthemum cuttings here still to pot off. I have potted some of the earlier ones off. This is the last batch I'm just getting done, so I'm hoping to get some decent ones off them. Right, so we'll make our way back out if we can. As I say, I've got to clear some of these leeks off. I'll put them up into a decent sized pot. There's some nice leeks amongst them. They're not going to be any use for shows or anything this year, so all I'm going to do is put them up and put them outside, and that's going to create myself a little bit more room. Of course, got a lobelia there now. I don't know. I have got some onions up there. I'm lifting you up the top end there. I've got onions. I've got the pot leeks up there. I've got some more little bits of stragglers of pot leek and that sitting around. So all the benches are getting well filled up. So I've got to watch what I'm doing for space. I've got these are the carnations I potted up a fortnight ago. 3 big trayfuls there, and that's just out of 1 packet of seed. Absolutely amazing. There's still lots to be potting off. And of course there's what early potatoes, and this is Jazzy, absolutely marvellous. Roger come up yesterday and banked banked the 3 rows up, and of course if you notice we've got the weekly hoses right along the rows there, and all I do is I come up at night time and stick a tap on, and I can let this run all night long. As long as I know there's nobody going to be up here every evening I want the hose, I'll stick the weekly hose on. It'll just play away all night. Lettuces, little gems I've been potting off. I've got a couple of trays of them done. Rudbeckia, that's another cottage favourite. Petunia, trayfuls of petunias. Always like a petunia. And of course I've got to go around and just keep an eye on the watering on these, because they're easy to burn in the sunshine. When you do get a bit of sunshine through the day, if you're watering, so that's why I like to come up of an evening and water them of an evening when there's no risk of the sun coming out. But that's the first tunnel anyway. It's absolutely marvellous. over the moon with it. And of course, we're talking of grapevines as well. Here's the black ones that I planted these two last year, and you can see by the buds on there romping away. So what I'll do is I'll cut it from that bud there. It's a nice strong bud there. I'll cut it from there and let that grow away, and then I can train that right way along the top there. But that's looking absolutely marvellous for the time being. Roger's done a first class job of that. Nice and tidy, just the way I like it. Whew. So as I say, even though we're coming up at different times, we're still managing getting quite a lot of work done. That's what peach tree there. It was absolutely covered in blossom just a fortnight ago. Still a little bit of blossom on the other side there. So, and this is only its second year, so I'm hoping that we're going to get some nice fruits off it. As I like to do the inside as I do the outside, I like to cover the root with a good bit of manure, strawy manure, and that just keeps that root plate nice and cool. Tip your water on it, tip your feed on it. The only thing these are going to get over the next week or two is a good handful of sulphate of potash. I've got all the raspberry beds to do. They've had their muck. If you go back on the video in February, when I mucked all the beds, and now I'll go along in March and give them a good sprinkling and sulphate of potash. They're starting to come to life now, so as I say, they'll get a good feeding of potash. Water it in, or the rain will water it in, and that'll give them a good early feed and set the plants up, set the bushes and that for some good fruit. But yeah, over the moon with that. And of course, now into the bottom tunnel. It's a lot colder in here. Of course, as you see, I've got all the strawberries hanging in here, all the baskets. They're not coming up as good as what I'd hoped. They're growing, but very slowly. Of course, these are a different variety from what I normally grow. But I'm hoping to get some good stock plants from them. I know I've got some cracking plants down the bottom end there, some Senga Giganta that I got at Dave Shaw last year. So I'm looking forward to taking lots of cuttings on them. But this is doing really well. I've been well pleased with where things have been going in here. And of course, once again, we got the first class crop of cabbage. Some absolutely one or two leaves on the bottom. Take away, but that's not bad at all. Only 3 leaves lost. The rest is absolutely perfect. And a lovely little heart in there, and of course for the spring cabbage, absolutely beautiful. Not a mark on it. And all them had was a couple of doses of garlic spray at the beginning of the year. What we did have, we had some nettle juice still in the bottom of the barrels. Once again, you have to go back in my videos to see how I made the nettle juice or the nettle tea. I'll be starting again in the springtime. Put the barrels, warm water, throw the nettles in, give them a good stir up, and they'll rot down and they'll make a lovely, rich nitrogen tea that you feed your plants on. Now, when I planted these in October, all they had was a couple of drinks of nettle juice, and then they had a spray of garlic spray all over them, bit soapy water, and then I done them again in the March. In the January, once again the February, and that's how they've kept. Absolutely perfect, lovely and clean, no slugs or nothing on them. And that's where we like to grow our cabbages. But once again, not only are we getting the first class crop from here, what the cabbages are doing, they're cleaning the land out for us. They're taking all them excess nutrients out, all them salts. We never have to wash our beds out. And cabbages will take all that out, and then hopefully the land will have a reading of around about 4 or 5. What we can do then is build it up, good liming, a bit more manure, and it'll be perfect for putting the tomatoes in, and that's without having to give it any chemicals whatsoever, or any cleansing agents, nothing. It'll be nice and clean, and we'll get a first class crop of tomatoes in here. 3 nice rows of assorted tomatoes. Once all these cabbages come out, as I say, by the middle to the end of May, these will be finished. They'll all be out. and then the cycle will start all over again. We'll get potatoes from next door. The sweet corn to go in there. I've got croissants to go in there. Beans, melons, cucumbers, courgettes. We've got lots to plant out in there. In here it'll be the tomatoes, a few cucumbers, change them over, and then at the end of the year we can do exactly the same again. Cabbages grow in that tunnel to clean that soil out. This one will stop empty until next January, and the potatoes will go back in here. We're lucky. We've got the two big polytunnels and the big greenhouse, so we can switch our crops around year in, year out. So nothing gets left in the land twice. It's always turned round. It's always changed over year by year. So hopefully we'll get a first class crop of tomatoes in there. Down in the bottom there, what we've got is some, this was my first crop of chrysanthemums. They're done now, they've been potted up for a day or two. And they're freezing cold in here. There's mesh on the bottom, the doors are wide open, so you know, it is really cold. It's going really hard in the plant. Strawberries are struggling to grow. That's a new variety we tried this year, which was the Albion. They're there. You can see them. They're growing away. They're nice and green. Some nice growth on them. I might have to go around there and put a bit of water on them. But these are the ones I'm looking forward to this year. And that's one of the Colossus. This is one of the young runners that I took off the mother plant that I got Dave Shaw last year, and I'm over the moon with that. It's absolutely beautiful. It's lovely, fresh, green plant, nice and strong, small and squat, which I like, not leggy. It's been up on the top of shelves, it's had plenty of light, and they've been growing nice and cool. So I'm looking forward to getting the first class crop fruit off there, and some first class runners for next year, and build my stock up. That's for strawberries anyway. All I've got to do now, chop the root off that, take it home, we'll have a for Sunday dinner tomorrow. Absolutely spot on, looking forward to that. Well, that's a video that I wanted to get done. I hope I've given you a look on the plot, what we've been up to, what we've been doing. It's challenging times at the moment. But we've just got to take our time. And just be careful, and hopefully we should get through this next couple of months intact. For the time being, I'm going to knock off. I'm going to put a few of these leeks up, stick them outside on the polytunnel benches, so it gives me a little bit of room inside, and I can start bringing some more tomatoes and some more chilies up tomorrow. But for the time being, as I say, I don't know whether I'll get round to making another video next week. I hope I will. If nothing changes, and then we'll start to do one regular again, once a week. There's plenty to do. There's plenty of work to do. Whether or not we can stick to the regime that we normally have, I don't know. We'll just have to play it day by day and see how it goes. For the time being, if you can't wait for the videos, then get us on our Facebook page. Of course, it's Jeff Holman on the plot. Send her an invite, friends requested, we'll give you an invite on the plot. Chat with for both nights. There's the wind picked up there now, so I think I've timed it just right. I'm going to get this cabbage cleaned up, get a few looks done, and get myself back out home. Okay, so I'll see you all on the plot soon. Bye for now.